Welcome to the Echo Tips Podcast.
Yabba dabba doo.
Here's a sneak peek into what we're going to cover in this week's episode of the Echo Tips Podcast.
A top result is Skeleton Faux Leather Pirate Hat, brown distressed leather colonial style tricorn hat.
Oh, yeah.
It's $21.99, with delivery by Sunday, December 22nd. You can say, buy it now, or what are the reviews?
Well, hello, and welcome to the Echo Tips Podcast. In this week's episode, we're going to be dealing with one of those kind of quirky, interesting things, but I thought it might be kind of interesting to revisit and talk about exclusively for especially those out in the market to buy new Amazon Echoes and maybe have never had one before or are installing them for the first time. What is one of the most important things you need to set and change immediately following connecting it to your Amazon account? And that is its ability to buy you stuff. And we're going to talk about how you can turn that feature off and or have a PIN code lockout so little Johnny doesn't come over and buy a new Lego set with your Amazon Echo, or little Peggy Sue doesn't come over and buy, a $200 Barbie house. So we're going to talk about that in this episode of the Echo Tips Podcast. Now, first off, I'd like to welcome our new listeners to the show, and of course you returning listeners, it's good to have you guys back as well. But for our new listeners who are wondering what the show is all about and this show and what they're listening to, we'd like to welcome you. My name is David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill, based here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Southwest Virginia. And so it's good to have you all with us this week. You'll find our show is a weekly episode, weekly shows, I should say. That's 52 episodes a year, and we generally put out new shows around every Wednesday or Thursday. And although this time of season things get a little wonky and they sometimes come out a little late. But nonetheless, we deal with everything Amazon Echo related. Hardware, equipment, home automation, applications for parents, caregivers, seniors, children, all different sorts of scenarios. But in today's episode, I think it really applies to everybody that credit card that's on file isn't accidentally used to make a purchase. Even if it was just by you by mistake, like, oh, I'm going to buy you that thing. No, don't do that, right? Or have to ask me for a PIN code first before you make the purchase. Well, anywho, before we delve into that content in any sort of depth, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then we will be right back.
This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a non-profit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. And we thank you for listening. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision.
Well, hello, and welcome back to the show. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking about one of those pretty important things you probably want to change right away after you set up an Amazon Echo for the very first time and you're new to the Amazon Echo ecosystem. One of the things you can do, and probably what Amazon was always hoping people would do, but I found that they probably don't do, is make purchases using their Amazon Echo. And over the years, I have practically never just outright purchased something except to say that I've done it. I think a few years ago I ordered a Rubik's Cube that was on sale for $2 just to see how it worked. But the ability has always been there, and out of the gate, if your credit card is on file, there's a possibility it may just, try and buy the thing if it thinks you're trying to buy something. Or if you have little ones in the house, they may try and buy a Barbie house or Legos or who knows what, right? And this just may be a feature you want to disable and or add a PIN code lockout. Now, historically, I will say I have used it and actually used it somewhat quite a bit this year, but not really just like shop and say, hey, buy this. But often what I will do is I'll say reorder yada, 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 because it's something I like and I know and it'll go back to my reorder history and it'll put it back in the cart, right? And I usually won't make the purchase right then and there. I put it in the cart. And as I've accrued items in the cart, I'll come back and say, what's in my cart? And it'll go yada, 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 this. And I'll be like, yes, place the order. So that saves me the steps of having to go over to an app or my computer, go click on the cart, go hit the checkout button, hit this next button, hit that next button. Do you want it by this date? It just automatically debits the credit card I have set on file. We'll look at that here in a second. And it just places the order. And it goes ding, and it's great, Anyhow, but you can make accidental purchases, and this is what we're really hoping to try and achieve. Let me demonstrate here. I'm going to use our Echo here. Currently is connected to the mixer here, so you can hear what it's doing. And I currently have it set to the wake word COMPUTER instead of ALEXA, and I will give it a command. Let's see, what should we try and order? Computer, buy me a pirate hat.
A top result is Skeleton faux leather pirate hat, brown distressed leather colonial style tricorn hat.
Oh, yeah.
It's $21.99, with delivery by Sunday, December 22nd. You can say, buy it now, or what are the reviews?
Buy it now.
To order it, tell me your voice code.
Cancel.
Canceling.
Okay, so that gives us a little insight into what we want. We want it to ask for a PIN code, right, or some sort of confirmation. So where do you go to find that? Well, right here on my phone, I'm going to let you guys listen in. I have a screen reader on the phone so you can hear what I'm doing. But we would open up the Alexa app. I did just say her name, so I'm sorry if I triggered your Echo at home. You may want to shut its ears off if that is the case. And we're going to open up the Alexa app on my phone.
11:44.
And we're
Alexa, back, button.
And we're going to need to go near the bottom here, and we're looking for the More button. I think it's got some little lines on it. Hopefully you all can hear this. I don't have it plugged into the mixer.
Alexa, selected, More, tab, 3 of 3.
Okay, so there we are. We want to go to the More tab.
Selected, More, tab,
And then in this, we want to go to Settings.
Settings,
Okay.
settings.
And then after we do that, we want to go to, I think it's Account
Your profile family. Account settings.
Settings. All right, go to that.
Settings.
And here you don't have a lot of settings, but we have the one we need.
Voice purchasing.
Voice purchasing. So we're going to go to that.
Voice purchasing. Learn more.
Okay, this is where we have some different configurations.
Purchase controls. Anyone with a voice code can make purchases.
Okay, so that's the current setup, voice codes and all of that.
Payment method. Alexa uses your one-click payment method for purchases.
This is what credit card it's using. It's currently set to my one-click method credit card.
Payment method. Alexa uses kids content purchasing enabled and requires approval.
That's interesting. You can actually make a customization of the way kids can purchase things, so that might be something to look at, parents. But I'm going to go up to the top option.
Purchase controls. Anyone with a voice code can make purchases.
Purchase controls. We're going to go to that.
Purchase controls. Only recognized voices. Unchecked.
So this is interesting. Right now, I don't have it set to use my voice pattern as a matching mechanism, but apparently that is an option in here.
Note, digital purchases such as Kindle books and Prime videos are excluded. Learn more.
Okay, now that's a very interesting thing. I'm going to have to dig into what the meaning of that potentially is, because I hope that's not the case. Hopefully it's just applicable to the first item there if you're using voice pattern matching or something. But let's go on to the next item here.
Anyone with a voice code. Checked.
Okay, there we go. Anybody with a voice code is allowed to make a purchase. So it doesn't have to match your voice pattern as well.
Edit voice code. Link. When enabled, a 4-digit voice code will be required to complete voice purchases.
Okay, there's an explanation.
Anyone can make purchases. Unchecked.
Anyone can make purchases. That's unchecked, so that's not an option.
No one disable voice purchasing. Unchecked.
Now, that's probably what 90% of the people listening to this podcast want, which is just shut it off. I don't want to make purchases using my Amazon Echo.
No one disable voice purchasing.
No,
Unchecked.
nobody can make purchases.
Home. Tab. 1 of 3. No one disable voice purchasing. Unchecked.
Yeah, that's probably what most people want. But let's go back up to this option here.
Only recognized voices. Unchecked.
No, that's not it.
Anyone with a voice code. Checked.
Anyone with a voice code. So I'm going to go into that, and this will give us some additional options.
Enter 4-digit code.
Oh, I think I hit the wrong thing. I hit the edit. So let's go back.
Voice code. Head. Save. Button. Cancel. Button. Purchase.
My bad, guys. Sorry
Back.
about that.
Button. Edit voice code. Link.
I hit the edit button.
Anyone with a voice code. Checked.
Anyone with a voice code. So I'm going to go into that.
Cancel.
Oh no, maybe not. Maybe this is the page I was
Only
thinking
recognized
of.
voices. Unchecked.
Yeah. This is where we have all our set. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, you just can edit the code. You can set it to also use pattern matching, and of course disable it entirely. So I found it sufficient just to set a code. Let me shut my phone off here. There we go. So I think that's probably a high quality. That's definitely a feature probably most of you want. I remember in the early days of the A-Lady roll it out, there was like, little girls ordering Barbie houses and stuff like that. Or people's Echoes would be sitting in their living rooms listening to the evening news, and they thought they heard something about, purchase a pirate hat or something silly like that, and they'd place an order. So and before you know it, packages are arriving at somebody's front door. So in order to avoid that, you may want to dig into this setting and make a customization and not be like Dave with a pirate hat arriving at his doorstep. I had the pin code lockout, so I didn't have to worry about that. Anyway, so that will bring this episode to a close. We appreciate your listenership. There will be some changes happening with the show. This is, a Goodwill, New Vision program at Goodwill has been supporting this podcast for many years. We've had grants from the Virginia Board for the Blind. The original founder or one of the grants that helped start this podcast in the early days was from the Roanoke Foundation. Now I believe they're called the Community Foundation serving Southwestern Virginia. Very grateful to all those support for the podcast over all these many years, but this podcast will be becoming a personal property of yours truly starting the first of the year. But we're hoping to continue the podcast going. So if you see some of the album art and stuff change, that will be one of the reasons. And we're also going to be changing our email address where you can correspond with us. If you'd like to reach out with thoughts or suggestions, you can reach us at Echo Tips Podcast, all wedged together, no dashes, no periods, Echo Tips Podcast, then the @ CERT, CERT, Doctor, spelt out, DOCTOR.com with your thoughts or suggestions. And we may be looking at changing some of our jingles or artwork. If you have any feedback or thoughts, we're open to suggestions. And you can, of course, express your appreciation for those organizations supporting us over the years at the former addresses, either at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys on Facebook or Twitter, or at info@goodwillvalleys.com. All right, well, that will bring our show to a close. We appreciate your listenership, and until next time, it's time to turn the ears of your Echo back on. Start practicing some of the many, many things that you've learned. I'm David Ward for the New Vision program, and we do thank you for listening.
This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. And we thank you for listening. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision.